Good morning. Welcome to the East Bay Church of Religious Science morning prayer. This Tuesday morning, in our morning prayer, the theme is love. I will read to you from Dr. Howard Thurman's Meditations of the Heart. Thou shalt love. Thou shalt love thy God. There must be for me a deep sense of relatedness to God. This relatedness is the way by which there shall open for me more and more springs of energy and power, which will enable me to thread life's mysteries with life's clue. It is this and this alone that will make it possible for me to stand anything that life can or may do to me. I shall not waste any effort in trying to reduce God to my particular logic. Here in the quietness, I shall give myself in love to God. Thou shalt love thy neighbor. How must I seek ever the maintenance of a kind of relatedness to others that will feed the springs of kindness and sympathy in me? I shall study how I may be tender without being soft, gracious without being ingratiating, kind without being sentimental, and understanding without being judgmental. Here in the quietness, I shall give myself in love to my neighbors. Thou shalt love thyself. I must learn to love myself with detachment. I must have no attitude toward myself that contributes to my own delinquency. I shall study how so to love myself that in my attitude toward myself, I shall be pleasing to God, face with confidence what is required of me. Here in the quietness, I give myself over to the kind of self-regard that would make me whole and clean in my own sight and in the sight of God. Thou shalt love thy God, thy neighbor, thyself. And just breathing that in, loving God, which is the self, loving our neighbor, that individual that is one with us, with God, with everything. And as we move into prayer with this love of that indwelling, self-dwelling God, love of the self, which is one with God, love of our neighbors, which is everyone, more than those that may live either side of us. Our neighbor is the being we meet on the street, in the store, in a place of work. We are all neighbors. We are all one. One with all that God is, the power, the strength, the joy, the love in all of life. I am one with all that God is. I know that each one listening to this prayer this morning, those that will listen at another time, all in universal life are one with all that God is, one with the love of God. I speak my word right now, knowing, declaring that the perfect love of God, the love of God that is the beauty, the joy, the sweetness in every being. That love, that divine love, is the truth for all. Each one is one with that love. It is that love that guides us, directs our every step, upholds us in this day, in every day, every moment of the day, in all interchanges, with every being. It is the love of God that rests and abides within us, within all. It is the love of God that uplifts in those moments where it feels lonely. In those moments where the grit of the journey, the challenge of the day wears us down. It is the love of God within that revitalizes us. That guides us, leads us through. It is with great thanksgiving I release this truth. This truth of God's love, that indwelling, self-dwelling love within all of life. That love that is. That truth. I release into the ever-present law of good, into all that is. All that has ever been. All that will continue to be throughout this day, this week, this month, this year, this life time. For it has always been God. And it shall always be God. In a humble gratitude, I say, amen. Ashe, and so it is. Dear, lovely, loving, and loved beings, have a beautiful day filled with the love of God.